was like really, really hard to tune. And then we sort of stopped tuning, realised that there was a street sweeper going along. And it just, the pitch that motor was going was just under A. It was between A flat and A. It was just people really.
I was going to say you had like 3 people with perfect pitch, one of whom prefers 440, 441 and 440.
Oh yeah, you got as well. Those arguments are real, but it's just when you suddenly we all stopped struggling with each other and then listen when that'd be it.
Yeah.
One of these due to that.
Lovely. Oh, it's very nice to be back. Okay, so we have done slurs, finger patterns. It doesn't sound like last week was really a kind of thing in the same way as we have been doing.
It wasn't a thing in the same way that we've been doing, but it was a bigger thing, which was a good thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it was useful. Find out what you don't know.
What would you like to think about today? I'm mindful that obviously there's only one person here, but the other 2 hopefully at least will watch it online. I'm sure they will eventually. Do you want to just have a look at them, or shall I just read out the enormous list of things that we made?
Something that I would like to just sort of talk about is the mechanics of getting to the heel and you know when that is really in earnest. You know, kind of.
Great.
Because I'm a bit unclear about that.
Okay, we can definitely do that. That's also quite nice and quick. So in terms of,
because that would be useful for you as well, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it does come sort of towards the end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So obviously we won't go through every single one of these specifically, but they come up a lot in amongst all the other stuff. But the list is right hand, tone, string crossing, slurs, up bow staccato, staccato, legato, detache, martelé, hooked bows, retakes, dynamic, double stops, bow distribution and pizzicato. And then left hand, string crossing, intonation, finger patterns, shifting, harmonics, fours, waterfall, double stops, vibrato extensions, moving chairs, blocking, independent fingers and fast fingers. And we've done quite a lot of those along the way. So shall we start with extended bows and then maybe move into bow strokes? Mm-hmm. Does that sound useful for today? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Okay, so let's just play through our twinkles and think about bow distribution as we do, and then we'll take it from there. So we'll just go straight from the end of one into the beginning of the next. I will not give you an introduction in between. We'll just literally start at the beginning and finish at the end. Everybody clear? Mm-hmm. Yeah? So this is the only introduction you're going to get. Certainly not perfectly in unison. That's lovely. You can play the harmony if you like. So make sure you're in the right part of the bow. Between the balance point and the feel that if it was a group of children, the same advice that I'm going to offer us as a group would be to feel the pulse more inside our bodies. I don't really feel like I see a lot of looking, which is great. I can see that people are feeling the music, obviously, but I don't think that we're really like internalizing the beat so that we would be perfectly together if we closed our eyes or if we went into different rooms. And if we had a microphone each, we should be able to play this perfectly in time without anyone else there, shouldn't we? Just by keeping the beat steady. Yeah? We're not going to do that because I don't have 5 microphones.
We've almost got enough
We
room,
do have the rooms. We do have the rooms. But I think also we'll be able to hear ourselves, each other. Okay, but I would just like to do that one more time. Let's do it. I do very much appreciate your harmony, but let's do it all in unison. And let's just remind ourselves, so we're between the balance point and the middle for how long?
Until Twinkle Thing.
Exactly, for all of those. Yeah, and then which ones don't have the same length of bow all the way through?
Stop pony.
Yeah.
Busy, stop.
Exactly, yeah. So, and actually, maybe Fatima and Caterpillar probably won't be using all of that space, but you're still in that space, but they're smaller bows. Okay, so let's see if we really try and feel the pulse in our bellies, whether we can manage to make it perfectly together. Oh, fire people. Maybe that was...
Remember, that was actually in the alarm.
But I mean, why did they turn it off in that case, before the firefighters got here?
Maybe the alarm is linked to the fire station. If it's a high-rise block, they might just come out with alarms.
I don't think so, because it goes off every week.
Well, in that case.
Which I'm pleased that we're not wasting that much of the time of the fire service.
Well,
They don't look very much.
They're not in the
Well,
room.
we
Very
no.
stressed, do they?
Maybe
No.
somebody else called
Maybe
as well.
someone's trapped somewhere
They're
on
quite
it.
casual, aren't they?
Maybe it's a kitchen fire. And
Maybe
it's
their
just
alarm,
not
maybe the
contained.
lift is stuck or something.
Oh, yeah.
Something delightful like that. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway.
What are we doing then?
If we do really well, we can put the blinds up and reward ourselves with a little ogle at the firefighters. So it's more about me than any of you. Okay, we're doing exactly the same thing again. Yeah? Matsumoto tempo. Good. I think that the thing about the bow speed and length at this is that, do you remember that? Can everybody just do this? That feeling of like the whole arm, which is so weird for us because we would never play like that, but this is how your tiny students are going to start. That if you then, there's almost no opening at all, it's all coming from the upper arm, which feels very strange to us, but that is how your children are going to be able to do it.
It's alright? No.
Yeah, go again. I'm just trying to work out what's slowing you down. Yeah, there's still a lot of opening and closing here, isn't there? So if you feel it more, just take your bow off. Hang on. Just take your bow off. Take your bow off. If you feel it more like that sort of weird bouncing feeling, what happens then?
Didn't you just say just now that I need to open and close my arm a bit more?
No, I don't want you to open and close your arm for Fatima and Caterpillar. Oh no, I want you to use the upper arm more.
Okay.
That's the problem with trying to speak as you're playing.
Right.
Yeah, so really where are we opening and closing the arm is only maybe a tiny bit in stop pony, maybe a tiny bit in the quavers elsewhere, but mostly not until twinkle theme. Let's just do the crazy twinkles just to get all of your brains really working before 11 o'clock in the morning. It is 4 beats of each variation's rhythm. No, it's not. It's 4 rounds. 8 beats. Do you want me to play it to you once before we try and do it? If you know it very well, you can join in with me. Otherwise, here we go. Not now that I know there's someone looking in the window. Right, okay, good. Well done, everybody. Let's get things ready to write with.
There's loads of
Ooh.
What's going on, eh?
At least there's no guns.
There's no guns.
No, there was a time, one of the very few times I went to have lunch with a friend, and I was sitting in a restaurant, and there was a big window like this, and I was sitting, and I suddenly thought, oh, there's a lot of people walking around outside with reflective clothing, and I realised that they were policemen, armed policemen, and then suddenly they were down on their knees like that, and they were pointing their guns at the restaurant, and I was sitting in the restaurant, and I said to my friend who had her back, I said, I don't want to alarm you, but there's some armed policemen pointing their guns at this place. And she immediately sort of looked, and there was a nutter basically got into the restaurant who had mugged somebody or assaulted them quite badly, wasn't she? And she just grabbed me, we just ran out.
Yeah.
And I was thinking differently. I was thinking, right, I'm going to get behind the table and things.
Yeah,
But it was extraordinary, and there was a helicopter circling, and there were armed policemen on the buildings, and I was thinking that'll teach me to go out and have lunch in a restaurant.
Yes. Punishment. Well, the guy who was looking in the window is not there. Anyway, I don't think we need to have all of this on film. Okay, so firefighter extraordinaire over. Let's go back to work, people. Okay, bow, length, and strokes. Joe, did you write up what we did 2 weeks ago?
I didn't, because I completely forgot. I will do.
Could you please?
Yes.
Is that our rubber? Wishful thinking. Okay. Right, so for all the variations. What are we teaching in Twinkle Theme? No.
In Twinkle Theme?
Yeah, the first time we do Twinkle Theme, what are we teaching? No,
No,
we're not.
that's what I didn't think it was, but she said detective,
Yeah.
so I wasn't quite
What's this?
What bow stroke are we teaching in Twinkle Theme the first time they do it?
The leg's not straight, the stroke.
Either at this point.
The band point 2 somewhere above the middle point won't be fully extended because it depends.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah,
go
but
for
what do you call it?
the 3/4 point.
Yeah. I mean, that it's a movable piece depending on the length of their arm, right? And the size of their bow.
I think if your students can't open their arms to the point where they get to 3/4 of the way up the bow, then the bow is too long for them. And they shouldn't be on that size violin.
Yeah, so, yeah, and if they can open up to
But
half.
is there a name for that bow stroke?
Well, this is what I was going to come to next. Would we not call this staccato? I mean, it's a long bow, but it stops at the end.
Is it?
Staccato just means stopped bows, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Long stop bow.
I mean, obviously, if you like took that to a professional orchestra and said what
Stop.
bow stroke am I doing, maybe they would say something else. But
Okay, stop.
for simplicity, yeah, stopped bows or staccato bows. God, that's brilliant.
Yes.
I think we can safely assume that it was a false alarm because they all just came and stood around, looked in the window, and then went away again. So let's call it stopped bows. Maybe we would say it was staccato. But also, we're not going to teach the 4-year-olds who've only had, 6 months of lessons what the bow stroke is called. We're just going to be trying to get it happening. And that is in theme. Okay, so when do we get the next change of bow length? Like, when do they go higher than the 3/4 point? At the earliest?
So it's not ready?
Yes, great. At the latest?
What do you mean the latest? Sorry.
So the last, if you haven't done it by then, you've left it too late kind of thing.
Oh,
Long ago, yeah. So if there's not much in it, basically, at that point they need to learn how to use the whole bow from the balance point to the tip, not the whole bow lower than the balance point. So balance point to the tip between Go Tell Aunt Rhodey and Long Ago. Good. Where do you feel that we extend lower than the balance point?
Happy Farm. Minuet 1 maybe.
Huh?
Maybe Minuet 1.
Any other guesses?
Leather?
I mean, no. I mean, again, this is like, we have to remember when the first generation of teachers trained, none of this was like set in stone. It would just be like at some point you will have made sure that you can play with the whole bow. But, so I think Minuet 1 we would say is too early. Happy Farmer?
Happy Farmer then.
Yeah.
Why would you go lower than the balance point?
For the up bow.
We're starting in the
upbeat.
middle. Starting in the middle. Yes?
Yeah.
At which point am I going to go lower than the balance point? If you're doing... I don't think this is the place for it.
Okay.
I think Judas Maccabeus is the place for it. Because also, Happy Farmer, even though it's quite a simple tune, there's quite a lot going on. So if you're teaching,
String crossing.
if you're teaching the hooked bowing at speed with a different rhythm and, a new structure of the piece, I shouldn't be giving you all this information. What else are we teaching in Happy Farmer?
Distributing the bow.
Bows with the dotted. those.
Crotchet. Yep.
Fast up there.
Good. Combination of slurred and hooked. And not tricky string crossing compared with Gossec, but not like totally simple D-A-D-A or A-E-A-E type of string crossing. I don't really feel that that is the time to also bring in this. It's quite a sophisticated thing, isn't it, to play below the balance point. If you think about how often you would do that.
It's not very much though, is it? I mean, we're talking about an inch really. If you set the balance point and you give it a look, because it's only a very short little note that off.
But why would you start at the balance point there? This is not my understanding of the teaching points of that piece.
I think I was certainly told that happy farming is the time when you start looking at.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I was led to believe I was doing.
I've been through both.
Because then because I was told that was when you need to make sure that the inside bow holder's in place.
Oh my god! Okay, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. God, that is way too late! Far too late!
No, that was the minimum place where, that was the latest it should be put
Absolutely
in place.
not, sorry.
Yeah.
For me personally, in my own humble opinion, no, I would really fight to the
I think for me,
rational end of that. How can you do minuet 2 with an outside bow hold? No way!
I try and put it in for the perpetual motion.
Yes, perpetual motion is a lovely place. Allegretto and Antino can be fine if you've kind of missed out perpetual motion. But I mean, even etude, if you've got the thumb outside by etude, I really think you are setting your children up to have a very difficult string crossing time.
I think my understanding was that was the very, very latest, and I do think that some kids they kind of go in out. They take a while to get used to the inside bow holes.
But I mean, more than 3 pieces?